What is up, Dallas Mavericks fans? IndyCar Tim here with your Dallas Mavericks Daily Blitz for today, April 8th, Saturday. We hope you're enjoying the weekend much more than some of the Dallas Mavericks are enjoying the end of the season. And it begs the question now, with the way things have gone this season, with the attempts that the Mavericks front office and head coach have had to make, and the failures of those attempts, should Mavericks fans be concerned about Luka Doncic requesting a trade? Is it possible that Luka could be gone from the Dallas Mavericks as early as next summer? Now, that's certainly something that Dallas Mavericks fans have thought about. I've thought about it. We've talked about it on our show over at the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show right here on the FanStream Sports Network. But I don't know that a lot of Mavericks fans think that that could be a reality. I don't know that a lot of you think about it in terms of a possibility. But it certainly is because, of course, as the Mavericks have failed to qualify for the play-in tournament, they're completely out of the playoffs. They're faced with a pivotal offseason to try and get back on track as far as contending for an NBA title, for a West Conference title, for whatever, especially where Luka Doncic is concerned. So whether it's, the right call or not, this has been an object of debate. The Mavericks opted to sit out a lot of their key players recently in order to prioritize draft positioning. This was right before Friday's loss to the Bulls. And as far as we know, that's the situation they're going to be in for their few remaining games this season. And now there's a reported fear that the Mavericks and Luka Doncic might not be seeing eye to eye, and that Luka could indeed request a trade next summer if Dallas does not make significant progress towards being a contender. Of course, the risk of making decisions about Luka and about the future of the team can be concerning. One of the NBA's top talents, Luka is, of course, he's going to be in a sixth season next year. And, of course, the goal for the Mavericks and Luka's goal should be for them to compete at the highest possible level. But, the way the Mavericks have gone the last couple of years, we know they completely outplayed themselves. Let's change that. We know they completely overachieved season before last when they made the Western Conference Finals and got completely blown out of the water by a better team. And I believe a lot of Mavericks fans, and maybe the Mavericks themselves, especially Jason Kidd, maybe thought that that's just who they were. Well, here we are. We've arrived. We can kind of rest on our laurels here, and let's just tweak the team a little bit, and let's see if we can make things surge forward here in 2023 or the 2022-2023 season. But, dude, that's not the way it's been. I think this team has been what this team is this season. We know the previous year was an anomaly. I did not predict a playoffs appearance for the Mavericks this season. And this was very early on in the year, after, about 3 weeks into the season. I did not like what I saw. I don't like the way Luka is running the offense when he's on the court, and that's a lot. I don't think he's a great team player, and a lot of you guys are going to criticize me for saying that, but I don't think that he is. He's not your traditional point guard. We know that. Luka does not make the best decisions for his team when he has the ball. Yeah, he's a great player. He is one of the greatest individual talents I have ever seen. But putting him on a team with the way he plays his current style of game, I don't think it's conducive for a championship unless the team is built properly around him. And you can't do that because he can't be the only player on the team. So, yes, there are flaws in Luka's game. And, I'm not a Luka hater by any stretch. I see things. And we've talked about it on our show, the Colby Sapp and IndyCar 10 show on FanStream Sports. If you've tuned into that, that's great because I've been very vocal over there the last few months. I just don't like the direction this thing's going. I think Jason Kidd is one of the worst coaches in the NBA. I thought he was coming into the Mavericks. I love Jason Kidd. He's one of my top 5 Mavericks of all time as a player. He's a crappy coach. All right. He was brought in to be the opposite of what Rick Carlisle was, to be a player's coach, to be the player's friend. Well, this is what you get when you get a player's coach who really doesn't know how to coach. So according to ESPN's Tim McMahon, who is the one that brought out the report that there is fear and extreme frustration regarding Luka Doncic and his future with the Mavs. If things don't improve soon within the organization for them to be, and you know what, it doesn't matter if we consider them to be a contender, it's got to show on the court, because that's what Luka's going to go by. If there's not significant changes and significant progress, then I'm telling you, and I said this 2 years ago, Luka's gone. He is not going to mess around. All right? He is not Dirk. He is not going to hang around for less money so we can sign players around him. He's not going to have the loyalty that Dirk did. That just doesn't exist anymore. And, you know, we've seen the differences between Luka's attitude and Dirk's attitude. Luka would have fit really well in the early 2000s San Antonio Spurs team because he's a freaking crybaby. And he's an attention whore. He'd have fit real well in there with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen and Manu Ginobili, that ridiculously talented team that I hate so much. But yeah, I'm a Luka fan, but I don't think he's necessarily the best thing for this team, and I don't think this team's the best thing for him. And just watch. Things are going to get uglier before they get better. The Mavs' first priority this offseason has to be to re-sign Kyrie Irving. Number one, you have to re-sign Kyrie Irving. If you do not, you are not showing Luka that you care about winning, because that is the number one thing. Luka wanted him here to begin with. Luka is the one that requested the trade. If you can go get him, go get him. Well, they did, and it's failed miserably. Not necessarily because of Luka and not necessarily because of Kyrie Irving, but this experiment towards the end of this season was a failure. Can they improve on it? Probably. Christian Wood is another thing you need to address this offseason. He's going to be a free agent. And the best thing for him might be for him to explore other options. So we don't know where the Mavericks are going to draft yet. As of today, they're the they have the 10th ranked odds for the number one overall pick on the lottery. If they finish outside of the top 10 after the lottery situation sorts itself out, they're going to lose their pick. But if they move up, then it could create a world of different possibilities. So the draft, their positioning, it's going to sort of dictate the moves they make, I think, in the offseason. But, man, I just think this thing's going to get much uglier before it gets any better. And I think that's true of the Jason Kidd situation as well. I know that he's been given the dreaded vote of confidence by Mark Cuban and by Nico Harrison, but I just don't think he's the best man for the job here. And I think he's helped dig the hole the Mavericks are in this season. And it pains me to say that because I'm a Kidd guy, just not as a coach. Maybe he should suit up and get back out there and show Doncic how to play point guard. I don't know. He looks like he can still play. I'm IndyCar Tim right here on FanStream Sports with the Dallas Mavericks Daily Blitz. Please let me know what you think here in the comments section on the YouTube channel. Or if you're not on the YouTube channel and you're just listening on the recorded podcast on your favorite podcast app, make sure you tune in wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to all our FanStream Sports shows. We appreciate you listening to me today. You can find me on Twitter at IndyCar Tim, or the channel is at FanStream DSP. We would love to interact with you over there. Until next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.